Morning. It's probably about 10 to 8 on a nice Sunday morning, and it's time to do another walk around the yard. I've been here a year and a half or more now. I have an electric opener on the fence. Otherwise, the driveway area is pretty much the same. I've pruned this big tree up quite a ways so that the tall bamboo could grow. Nice clump of it next to that. Put this ramp in so that I can get my lawnmower out into the yard over here. Coming down into the front yard, which faces north, is pretty much the same. The avocado tree produced nicely this year. Got plenty of coffee out of those plants right in there this year. That's worked out well. And here's a friendly critter. This is Abby. She lives on the property now. And there's also another critter that's around here, but I don't see him at the moment. I put a little stream in here for the drainage from the roofs and carries the water away. That was a swimming pool for the dog. And then over here, this is the traveler's palm. Stays quite large. Over here is the first banana grove. Got a nice rack of bananas up in there at the moment, and then have another rack coming on here, which should be about 3 weeks away. Here's a flower garden I started last year, which is kind of in winter mode right now. The polka dot begonia is rejuvenating. There's some bromeliads and some caladiums, and then in the back we have one big elephant ear plant. This one is a croton, and there's quite a few ginger plants in there. There's one that's blooming now. There is a anthurium that's blooming, and there's an anthurium that's not blooming. Plus we've got this one banana plant making its way forward. Coming up through the yard, this is my newest plant right here. It's called a blue jade. Look that up on Google and see what it's going to be in about 6 months. Right here I'm growing some lilikwa, which is a small citrus, I think, fruit. Pretty tasty. And I'll be growing on that trellis soon. This is going to be an asparagus patch. I've got asparagus ordered, and they'll be shipped usually sometime in March. The area up here at the top of the hill is where I pretty much process things into dirt. There's the green worm bin. There's a couple of compost barrel and a few other barrels. This is the mulcher. This is some trimmings that need to be mulched soon. And then we'll walk over here. This is the delightful magnut tree. You can, I'll get up closer. These are the flowers, the light green. And then here's a clump of macadamia nuts that have already fruited. This tree should produce about 4,000 to 5,000 macadamia nuts through July to December. This is the back of the house. This area needs to have some thinning done of all these plants. They're a little overgrown. But we get to the garden, which is now made of stones. In row 1 we've got the tomato plant here that seems to be doing pretty well. It has got flowers and a couple of fruits on it. This is a pepper tree that I planted not long after I got here, so it's been producing for about a year these nice small peppers. And then down in here I have a few lettuce plants, a few green onions, and I just planted a green pepper plant there. And over here I just put in a new tomato plant, pretty tiny right now, but it's coming along. Up here is, I use these screens to start things, and I planted something there that, I think it's carrots, yeah, it's just getting started. And then this is arugula. This is carrots. I start things under a screen so that the rain doesn't wash them out. These are sweet potatoes. Up there are white potatoes. And this trellis is, I just got in last week for peas. And then over in here is an area where I've got more pepper plants. See how they do. These flowers right up here is called torch ginger, and whenever I get around to it someday I will remember to harvest them and put them in a vase. And here's some flowers that I planted about 8 months ago. The biggest bushy ones. There's some vincas in here and something that starts with P, and then there's some impatiens which were planted more recently there, and then I just put some heather in down here. So this will be a nice little flower area through here. And now we're going over to the west orchard. This is going to be an Amherstia nobilis. Doesn't look like much now. Got it on sale because the leaves were pretty bad, but I'm going to save it and call it my rescue plant. Everybody ought to have one. Well, I see we have a bloom over here on the hibiscus today. This area is the west orchard, and it's mostly citrus. This is a mango tree which I'm pruning down to size to cut the top off so that the fruit is more accessible. But here's I've got 2 hibiscus plants. This one is doing the best so far. I really like it. It has several buds on it. And this one over here was being attacked by quite a few bugs, but I've kind of mulched it and fertilized it and tried to make it stronger. Here's a new tree I planted in the last 2 weeks. It's a tangerine. This one is a satsuma. Here's a tree I planted last year, a grapefruit tree, actually a pomelo, and this little one is also a pomelo I planted last year. They haven't excelled, but over here we have another. This is a recent plant about a month ago. It's a it's an orange tree, but it's really a Mineola tangelo. That's what it is, Mineola tangelo. Seedless and delicious. This is the lime tree I planted last year, and a lemon tree I planted last year. And this is the banana tree, one there and one there. My sister and I planted last year. We moved them from the other patch over to here. And then here's another tangerine tree. This is a Darcy. So I'm looking forward to those providing some fruit sometime next year. Over here we have the papaya orchard. I've got several different kinds planted, and in this area I've got 6 papayas planted. This is an avocado tree which wasn't producing and actually had been cut down when I got here. There was a new little shoot on it, and I have grafted successfully a limb from the Hass avocado tree in front. So I'm hopeful that this will start producing Hass avocados sometime next year. Over in this area we have the these are called wandering iris, and there's a little patch of them, and they're also planted down alongside the house, and they just walking iris is what they're called, and they just lean over when the flower's spent. They lean over and root and start another one. And then here's a red vine that I planted by this old stump, and it's grown up. I planted right in the middle. It's grown off that way to the right and off to the left. So that's about it for the tour today, and I hope spring comes your way soon. It's pretty good here.